think it was more anger from me and more like desperation from her because she wanted to fix it. Yeah. She knew if something was right. Like, like when the whole thing with my parents happened with my parents called it Nutgate. What happened? Nutgate? What's that?
Oh,
The peanut.
Oh,
yeah. Or whatnot.
Oh, with her family?
Yeah.
Pistachio ice cream or whatever it was.
Yeah, somebody call it Nutgate.
I haven't heard that.
I've heard that.
Yeah. I guess what people are calling it.
Yeah.
But that was like another out. Like, maybe I could have just like stopped everything with Nikki and just kind of concentrated on helping like whatever happened there. Because like Shanann had a story, my mom had a story. Like, whatever happened, I probably asked my 10-year-old nephew. Probably can tell me what actually happened.
Well, and they both have their feelings for good reasons, and they both didn't see it the other person's way.
Yeah, and like maybe because I didn't talk to my parents from then on until like August 6th. And like, my dad took that whole week off.
You didn't talk to your parents from then on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like Shanann was like, do not talk to them, do not call them, do not do anything.
Is that what she said?
Yeah. And Cece's birthday was 17th, but I think the actual birthday party was like a couple days after.
In August?
July.
Yeah.
And like my mom or my dad was gonna go, but then there was like a post on Facebook about allergies and stuff like that Shanann had made, and my dad was like, no, I just can't do it anymore. Just like because
he perceived that as her taking a shot type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And she always says she never put those posts directed at anybody, but I do. She had a method.
Like if you read them, you know who she's talking about.
She had a method to the madness, and you can see it. Mm-hmm. But I wish I could have just took more time just to fix that. Because like I wanted my parents to be involved. Like since like the whole wedding thing, and then up to that, it was like my mom, my sister were always like combating with Shanann combating with them. My dad was always cool. Like he's just like me. He's just like go with the flow. Like I just want everybody to get along type deal.
Shakes me.
I loved your dad.
Oh, he's the best.
Isn't he? I loved your dad.
I'm sorry, keep going.
That's cool. I just wish I could have just when we were in the beach in August. Like my dad was supposed to take the whole week off just so we could see the kids and like see me and like we have a cookout at my sister's house or something. And then, but we just pretty much spent 5 days at the beach, and Shanann had like booked it so like I mean I don't want to say like punishment for them not to see the kids, but like I wanted them to see it, see them. I wish I could have fixed all that. And I even like when I was at the beach, I told Shanann that it was more like what was going on was more like I feel like because my dad's my hero. I feel like I've lost like something in my life. I haven't been talked to him for 3 weeks. And I haven't been to see the kids for 3 weeks, on FaceTime or anything. And I wanted them to be able to have that relationship again. And she was pretty much gung ho. Like she tried to kill my daughter by giving her pink. I was like, I don't think she gave it to her.
Was that her stance? Is that your mom
put something in front of Cece?
Like to kill her, or
no, just like
didn't care,
like
didn't pay attention.
She thinks that allergies and like this state of age is like people think you'll
like
be
it's
fine.
made up
like
kind of thing.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll just have a rash. You'll be fine. I've seen Cece, like the first time. Well, I've seen a picture of when he had a cashew the first time. It wasn't good. And then she had kiwi the second time, and then the same thing happened. And I know it's real.
So you know it's serious, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it wasn't like her throat like closed up, but she broke out in this full body rash that looked really crazy looking. And luckily, like nothing with her throat like happened. But
So did that make you angry at your mom for doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I just like, no, you just gotta. I told her you need to think. You need to like pay attention. Just because another kid can have something doesn't mean another kid can have something. Because like when we were at that birthday party at Jeremy's that Sunday, they had this cake there. Like Bella wanted it so bad. I'm like, can't give it to you because Cece can't have it. She was like, okay. And all the other kids were like, they can't have the cake. Like I just kind of took them off and gave them some like one of those frozen pops or something. But it's just like she had to learn that just because one kid can have something and there's another kid that can't have it for a legitimate reason, like she couldn't have done it. But that's the kind of talk I had with her. And Shanann had called me, I think it was maybe like middle of July or something, when she told me all this had happened. That's when I called my mom and talked to them for a while, and then they're just like, they just couldn't deal with her anymore. Shanann just kind of like, they like flipped out. My nephew told Bella to go hide behind a curtain because I don't think your mom was going to let you come over here again or something like that.
Oh.
So it got heated.
Oh, it was bad.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a last straw between them, I think.
Like in the same room or over the phone?
No, they were at
They were at
my
really
mom's
heated.
house. Yeah, because Cece and Bella and my niece and nephew were there.
Okay.
How did Shanann find out about the ice cream thing?
Because Shanann was there, and I guess they were all sitting one of those couches, kind of like a U. And my niece went into the kitchen, and she knew where the ice cream was. She'd been there.
So it's not like your mom gave it to her? Like she got her own ice cream?
Yeah, she went in the freezer, got it, went out, and sat beside Cece and started eating. But like, it's just a matter of like Cece could go like
Right.
like that. Now, I don't know what would happen if she just got it on her hand.
Right.
But like I know on like the prick test, on the back, it's like a welt.
So were they staying there at your parents' house during that time? 'Cause
Yeah, it was. So they would go from from Sandy and Frank's house
Yeah.
for like a few days or 5 days, and then go to my mom and dad's house for a couple of days, kind of bounce back and forth.
So it happened during that time.
Mhm.
They were there, yeah.
And so there were so many things that happened, weren't there? That just were little tiny ingredients to this
Yeah,
recipe.
nothing like
It's nuts, Chris. I mean, it's just so many things just didn't go your way.
everything was like somebody was stirring a pot, and it was just.
That's exactly what it was like. So then, I know I keep bringing it up. Can you walk me through just the last few minutes before Shanann died?
It was pretty much just like I had gotten dressed for work, and then like we started talking.
Did she come to you?
No, I was just right there in bed.
Oh,
I just,
okay.
Yeah, so I was just like I got my blue shirt on, my jeans and everything.
You ready to go?
I was ready to go. And
Was she asleep, or did you have to wake her up to finish your conversation? Or?
I would wake her up because like she got home like 2 o'clock, so she pretty much out of it. But I never knew like if her plane got delayed. Someone always told me like she just like sat around with Nicole and just like talked for a while and then came home or something. I'm not sure if that was.
It was delayed. Yeah.
But yeah, when she came home and everything, but yeah, like I woke her up to talk to her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is that because it was just eating at your brain?
Yeah, like I knew like something like something just felt right with me. So I know like she knew. I just knew she knew. I just felt like maybe the kids weren't going to be there when I got home that day.
Oh, interesting. Now, I don't mean to offend, but I have to ask, is that really the truth? Okay.
I really felt like they weren't going to be there when I got home that day.
Oh. And
Like
so-
she would take them somewhere?
No,
Or-
I just felt like either maybe I wouldn't go home, maybe they weren't going to be there, or I wouldn't be allowed in, type thing.
I think I saw some text messages where Shanann talked about that she would take the kids to another state or something because she wouldn't be able to afford to live in Colorado or something like that. Did she say that kind of stuff to you, or
Yeah.
what did she say about that?
She said she couldn't afford to live in Colorado on her own, and that I told her like, well, I mean, drive. I mean, she pretty much makes the same amount I do,
Yeah.
but she said she wouldn't want to try, just because Colorado just price of living there was a lot higher than North Carolina.
And just so I'm clear, you thought maybe in your mind, you thought maybe she would take the kids somewhere else or like lock you out of the house or
just like I wouldn't want to make a scene like trying like pound on the door trying to get in or anything like that. But, like, I just felt like that was what I did on Sunday. It was kind of like or Saturday night was kind of like the last straw. Kind of like going out with somebody and using an actual bank account card and just like not trying to hide it at all.
So walk me through it though, because she comes home, she touches you, you guys have sex, you fall asleep, then you wake up for work, all natural, all a normal day's work type thing.
Yeah.
What was it that made you think, I just can't do this anymore, I have to talk to her?
It was eating away at me. Like I
Yeah.
knew like something. I knew everything that I did. Like I know like when I was with Nikki, it was different. Like I wasn't even like in the realm of I'm a dad. I was him type thing.
Oh,
And then like I was saying, when I'm never at home, like sleeping in my own bed, like I have no like concept of that anymore.
interesting.
'Cause it
So
was
in your
kinda-
mind and heart, you could live moved on.
Like it kind of felt like if I wasn't at home, like I didn't think about it almost, because like if I wasn't sleeping on my own, like I think there was at one point like Nikki had gone to the mountains with her friends for like a few days, like into June, first part of July, and then like that part, obviously it was at home, but like from that whole month of July on, it was like I was never at home. Like I never had all those reminders around me. I never had, like every time my wife would call me, I would be at Nikki's house.
Oh, while she was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would like, walk outside, talk to her, like when I was next to the car or something like that. I would never be at home looking, like, just have all these pictures around me and just being in the same bed, seeing my kids' beds, seeing everything that, that we built for the last 6 years.
And so, did you just want to once and for all get it out in the open?
I just wanted to just tell her how I was feeling at that point in time. Like, I didn't feel like me and her were compatible anymore. 'Cause honestly, I didn't feel like that because what was going on with Nikki, it was new. It was new.
Right. Absolutely.
Anything that's new always feels better than the old.
And
You were
it makes feel
probably
different.
bitten by the love bug.
Yeah,
That's how a lot of therapists talk about it. Yeah.
It was just like, I never felt that. I mean, even like with new relationships in the past, like it always feels different, like, the first couple weeks and then, but it just, with someone Nikki felt different. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like you said, like, I was more in control and like it was more of like, maybe more of me coming out. Because Shanann always said, like, it always seemed I was more myself around other people, like, her cousin Cody, like, Cody lived or came up and visited us for a little bit while we were in Colorado for a little while, and Cody always talked about, like, how Chris is so funny, Chris is like, Shanann would always like, why are you never like that with me? I'm just like, maybe I always felt nervous around you.
There's only so much oxygen in the room, right? I say this to some people when dominant personalities,
I just always felt nervous. I always felt like I was, I never could actually just, be myself. But Nikki, I was myself, like, all the time. It was just different.
Well, and it seems as though, and again, hard to talk about, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but it also seems, is it accurate to say that sexually you were able to say, Nikki, this is what I would like, this is what I'm into, or blah, 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 and maybe not what Shanann?
Nikki just wanted, she wanted what she wanted. She wanted to do it pretty much all the time. I was just like, okay, that's fine with me.
Okay.
With Shanann, it was just like, hey. Sometimes it happened, sometimes it didn't. But that wasn't the case as far as that way. It wasn't just like sex or whatnot. But it was mainly, I was just want myself. I could just not think about what I was going to say or plan what I was going to say or not, going to say something stupid or something. But,
Right.
A little bit of freedom.
Can I ask you something about that morning that you had sex with Shanann? Did you feel at all like maybe you were kind of cheating on Nikki by doing that?
I felt strange. I felt like, the first time I was with Nikki, I felt weird. First time,
Sure.
And then the last time I was with Shanann, I felt totally strange. I was just like, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I had become. I felt like I'd become people I see on TV, and that did not feel right with me. Like I didn't know what had happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So Nikki even asked me, like, have you done this before? Have you go straight away? I'm like, I've never even thought about it. It's like, what's different? It's like, I guess it's just you that's different, because I've just never actually, like, I've seen girls smile at me before, never done anything about it. With her, it was just like, it's like she had a leash on me and she tugged me away. As soon as she walked, I'm like, what the heck, what's going on? So.
Well, and Tammy brings up a very good point. I wonder if that last time with Shanann having sex had somewhat of a role in you thinking,
Like a trigger?
I gotta do something, I gotta say something, we gotta have a talk, something's gotta change. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I felt like it was like maybe like a trigger point or something, like it's like you hit the push button on a bomb and it just blows up.
Right.
Just something in my head was just like something was hurting. Just like I had to say something.
Okay. So then, exactly what did you say and what happened?
So when I woke her up, and it's like, hey, we just gotta talk.
Okay.
And just like I told her, I don't feel compatible. I don't feel like this is gonna work. I just, I don't wanna, like, can we cancel the trip to Aspen? And she booked a trip that week
Oh.
to go to some like mystery 4-star luxury hotel or something.
Just the two of you or the whole family?
Just me and her.
Okay.
And she had Amanda there and then watched the kids that weekend or something.
Okay.
And I was just like, can we cancel that? Can we like do something? Like, from what I remember, I even said, can we move to Brighton just to get away from like this house?
Oh.
But like, I'm not sure if that was like in the beginning or the end of part of the conversation or whatnot. That conversation went so many different ways. Like they'd gone from like staying together to not staying together to just like all of the above.
Okay. So this is half an hour or what?
Definitely not more than half an hour, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think.
Are you crying? Is she crying?
It's back and forth. It's like, she's got, mascara. She didn't wash her face when she got home. She had makeup on still, so mascara was running all over her and stuff like that. And it was nothing about that conversation. I just wish I could take all of it back. Just the whole Nikki thing back, everything. But
So then when did it turn?
as far as that conversation, just at the end when I was telling her, like, I told her I didn't love her anymore. That's when it happened.
What happened?
She told me to get off her, and then I put my hands on her.
Okay.
Did you say she said something like that you were hurting the baby or something?
That was before that, because when I was straddling her, it was kind of like around her waist type deal.
Why did you get on her like that?
I just when we got on the bed, that's just where I got on.
Is that so she would listen to you?
I felt like she could probably listen to me just laying beside her, but I got on top of her. And every time I think about it, I'm just like, did I know I was going to do that before I got on top of her? I don't know.
Really? That's an interesting thought, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if you knew.
Just like, everything that happened that morning, I don't know, like, I try to go back in my head, I'm just like, I didn't want to do this, but I did it. Everything just kind of like,
Feel like you had to?
it just felt like it was, I don't even want to say it felt like I had to, it just felt like there was already something in my mind that was implanted that I was going to do it, and I woke up that morning, it was going to happen, and I had no control of it.
You never thought about it before?
It was just like, I don't want, like when, like you said, like in the sentencing hearing, that prosecutor said it takes 2 to 4 minutes for something like that to happen. Like why couldn't I just let go? I didn't.
Oh, that's interesting.
Why couldn't I just let
Was
go?
it feeling like it was in motion and you just couldn't stop it?
Yeah, it was just like, I don't even want to know what she saw when she looked back at me, honestly.
Did you look at her? What was she doing?
But
Why do you think she wasn't fighting?
I don't know, maybe she was praying, maybe she was just. Now I read the Bible, it said, where the scripture says, don't forgive these people for they do not know what they do. Maybe she was saying that. I don't know what she was saying in her head, but she, like when you guys told me, like, take off your shirt and check for defensive wounds, and there wasn't going to be any. She didn't fight. I don't know why.
Like she didn't grab, could she grab your arms or were her arms pinned down or?
Not that I remember. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think like I moved to where my knees were around her arms or anything, but it was just kind of like when I got on top of her and we started talking, that was it. It's kind of like in my head, or like in the back of my head, that was going to happen, and just like at the end of the conversation, it was just like, that's what happened. I just wish I could have let go.
Did it seem like it was that long, 2 to 4 minutes? How long did it seem for you?
Almost kind of felt like it was longer almost, because it felt like time was standing still. It's kind of like I just saw my life just disappearing before my eyes, but it just like I couldn't let go. It was like somebody else, like if you picture somebody else around you, holding your hands, holding you, keep you from not letting go.
At some point there was a statement about rage. Do you feel like you were in a rage at that point? How
That's
did
the
you-
only way I can describe it, honestly. Like a snap or something. I know. I guess my attorney had said like some, strangulation is more of like a, I don't know, passionate type thing. I'm just like, I don't know how that could be passionate.
It's just intimate because you're right in there,
Yeah.
using your own hands. It's a lot different than someone standing across the room and you shooting them or something like that. So
I just felt like somebody was like behind me, just like, I just couldn't let go.
It's interesting to me because there was a lot of things in your life that were like that, right? Where you're just like, maybe felt out of control, or maybe felt like, I don't know why I couldn't take a step back, or, like even when you said, when your buddy was like, let's go to the football game, you wanted to say yes, you just couldn't.
Yeah, I wanted to. Like, I haven't been to a football game since North Carolina, so I was just like, yeah, sure. Like, I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
I wanted to just text him, hey, it fell through, can't. Let's go.
So, then what?
Just, after, Shanann was, I guess, once she was gone, it was just like, I didn't know what was going on. It's like, it was like a traumatic, I don't know what you call it, traumatic event type, everything, like, I was shaking, I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I had done. I still wasn't in that right state of mind. I don't think like I was in control of what I could think or what I could do at that point in time. Like most people say, like, why don't you just call 911? Why? It's like, unless you're in that situation, you don't know what you would have done. It's easy to play Monday morning quarterback.
mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Like I said, if somebody shoots somebody, you don't know what was going through their mind at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you'd have done.
So what happened next?
Bella came in the room.
Is that what happened? Bella came in. What she said?
Wrong.
Did she hear something? Is that what she came?
Obviously, I think.
Okay. What'd you tell her?
Just come on, you don't feel good.
And then, did that happen with Bella right in that room?
Not in front of her.
What happened?
She walked in as, she thought, she was sleeping.
Did you take her back to her room?
I put Shanann in that sheet that we found on the site.
Okay. Then what?
Carried her downstairs and backed my truck up.
At that point, were the girls still there? Okay. So then Shanann's in the truck. Then went back to the house.
And got everybody back in the truck.
Was Bella first or was Cece first?
And the truck.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Shanann was first. And then Bella was next. Was Bella alive when you guys got out of the truck? Oh, okay. What happened?
I rolled her back up.
Okay.
I don't really want to talk about this part, honestly.
Okay.
Those are my kids. This is my baby. I just talk to them every night. I don't see them. It's good.
Okay.
Every time I see pictures of them, I don't know how this could have happened. Being a dad was the best part of my life. I took it all away.
I think that's the hardest part for us, Chris, is we see those videos, we see that love that you had for your girls. Like, it's obvious to us, and even to us, it's hard for us to understand how a dad who's given piggyback rides and, you know, making snacks and watching princess movies and those kinds of things, how you get to that point, you know?
I don't know. Like I said, it was just like something else was controlling me that day. I had no control over what I was like to fight back.
Yeah.
Like when that prosecutor said it felt a bitter tongue, like repeatedly, I just wanted to just bang my head up against the wall.
So you put Shanann in the truck, and then you put the two girls in the truck? Were they just sitting in their car seats, or I guess they didn't probably have car seats in your truck, did they?
No, they was sitting in the back with the, like in that bench sheet
So Shanann was back there too? Is that
on the
right?
floor.
What did they say about Shanann being on the floor?
Mommy, okay?
What'd you tell them?
She'll be fine.
Did you have their stuff with them, like their toys and their blankets and stuff?
They had something with them that they carried. One of them, I think Cece and Bella had like a blanket or something with them,
Mm-hmm.
like a pink blanket or.
What about the dog? I think one of them had a dog, right? That talked, or the dog?
Yeah,
Cece?
yeah, one of them had like a little barking dog.
Was that with you too? Do you know?
I think it was. Try to. It's hard to remember. Like if
Yeah.
they had like the big blanket, small blanket.
So, I think I saw on the video that you put a gas can or something in the back of your truck. Is that right? Did you have different plans for when you put that in there?
I don't know what was going through my head. I felt like maybe I could just get rid of myself at the same time if I was doing all this, honestly.
Yeah.
Did you think about that?
What'd you think about that?
I didn't feel like I deserved to live after what had happened.
Was there any thought to the whole family going away that day, to include you?
After everything had happened, I just definitely thought.
Yeah. See, it's interesting to me. We had all kind of wondered if there was a point when you were all together and if you were all going to pass together. That to me makes sense, because that's, even though it sounds crazy, that's what a family man does, right?
Family man doesn't do what he did.
No, I know. I guess what I mean is, it seems like you guys were going to be together forever in that way. Is that maybe what's going through your head?
Honestly, I just felt like I didn't deserve to live.
Yeah.
And it was like, whatever judgment I was going to come upon myself, you know, I just didn't deserve to be on this earth anymore.
Mhm.
What happened?
Okay.
So what made you not do that, do you think?
I don't know if it was just more of like a, because with the site, maybe it was just more of like, I would have hurt more people than just me and everybody else. Like, I know there's other people out there, not like at the site, but other people like maybe out in the area. Like, I didn't want something like on the site to catch fire and blow up, and then other people around would get hurt in the same.
So you were thinking initially about starting a fire out there, or an explosion or something, or?
Just no, not for that. Just like maybe I could just take care of myself. And that would have been good. I mean, you know, gasoline. That's the only thing you do. I mean, I don't have a gun. I don't have anything like that. It's not like you can just commit suicide that way. But
So
it's
just
just
to
like,
blow yourself up?
I mean, it was just, I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I don't have weapons. I've never hunted before in my life. I don't know what. I mean, nothing was right that morning.
Yeah. I remember you kept telling me that. You kept saying, I didn't know what I was doing, Tammy. I didn't know. Like,
Yeah, when you asked me
I
about
remember.
the sheet, like, what were you doing? Like, I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah. I think you were just like in automatic mode, or it seemed like. So did you drive straight out there? So what were you thinking on the way out there?
It's kind of like what I was doing right now. I'm just like, nervous, shaking, not knowing, like, what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, my life is completely changed. I don't know, like, what's happening. Like, honestly, like, I try to picture that whole ride, like, it's like 45 minutes to an hour ride out there. And it's just like, couldn't I have, like, saved my girl's life? Couldn't I have done something? Why did I do it? I don't know.
Right.
Like, this is my flesh and blood. This is, like, what I wanted all my life, was to be a dad, just to have, kids, and they loved me, they, all that, and it just nothing made sense.
Right.
Like the oil tank, nothing made sense. I'm just like, what the doing?
Mm-hmm. So what happened when you got out there?
I took Shanann out just to a place off to the site,
Mm-hmm.
and then
What were the girls doing when you were doing that?
just sent them back to the truck.
And then what happened after that?
CC was first. She did have a blanket. She had a blue blanket. A Yankee blanket.
So was she alive when she went into the oil tank? No.
I put the blanket over her head.
And that's how she passed. Couldn't breathe.
I put the blanket over her head. I didn't want to. No. I strangled her right there in the back seat.
Okay.
What was Bella doing?
She's sitting beside her.
Did she understand? Did she know what was going on?
Couldn't say anything.
And then the same for Bella. Just without a blanket.
With the blanket.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look. It's like every time I closed my eyes, I started to hear her saying, "Daddy, no," and that was it.
That's what Bella said.
I hear that every day.
Do you really? I'm sorry, man.
Sorry doesn't take anything back that hit.
I know. Is it possible that in your mind you didn't want them to suffer throughout their life? Was this like a mercy thing?
I mean, you can say that like after the fact, but it was just like, I don't.
You didn't feel like that during it?
I just didn't. I felt like it was just like an anger with Shanann, with everything, that I was just taking it out on everybody that was in front of me that morning.
Yeah.
I mean, kids growing up without their parents, depending on what grandparents or whoever they grew up with, seemed to be fine. But it was just like, it was an anger thing. It was just like,
And what were you so angry at Shanann about? Like, if you could pinpoint it.
nothing that makes anybody to want to do this. I mean, you could be angry at your spouse like your whole life, but you should never have done anything like this. You should never let it get to that point. But I let it get to a point where I never I mean, I've never been angry before. Like, and this was like the epitome of being angry.
Yeah.
The epitome of like showing a rage. The epitome of like losing your mind. I mean, even like some people in here said, "Dude, like, the heck happened? You must have freaking snapped." And like, I just walked away. I'm just like, I don't see it in my mind how it could have, like, I look outside every day and like, what could we be doing right now? But, right now I'd have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and what might be a 1-month-old son. And a beautiful wife. And just like, right now it's just me.
I watched that video of you finding out that Shanann was pregnant. Don't seem excited. You seem like kind of in shock.
Scared.
And yeah, like, oh fuck. Like,
Well,
it's
it's
already complicated and now this.
Well, it's like when we had talked about it, like a couple weeks, it happened fast. Like with Bella, it was like we almost gave up trying, and then she bought me like a supercharger for my car. And then with Cece, it was like we had to try, and then finally, but with Nico, it was once or twice, and then like 2 weeks later, she's pregnant.
Is that what happened?
Yes. And it's just like it was more of like surprise, scared. I'm like, wait, what? Like we just talked about this. Like, people have brought up the fact like, oh, she was probably pregnant before, or like you guys even talked about it. I'm just like, no, it's not.
Oh.
But like, yeah, it was insanely fast. I give it that. Like, that's the only reason I ever gave that notion, like, even the moment of thought, because it was like faster than any other time that she'd gotten pregnant.
You just didn't seem happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't remember the video much. I know she was wearing like a "Oops, we did it again" shirt, I think, and I was walking with my cooler or something. I don't remember like my actual like reaction, like watching the video, but like I could see her, you probably see like it didn't seem like he was jumping for joy type thing.
yeah, it didn't seem like that.
Did you watch the one of when I found out about Cece?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Is it totally different?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because Bella was in the crib and it had an eviction notice on the.
Oh, yeah, I think you told me about it. Yeah, I never saw it though.
Yeah, I picked up Bella and spun her around and whatnot. This time it was just me and Shanann, and she was in the kitchen. I don't know, like I don't forget what date it was. Maybe like June 3rd or 5th or 7th. I'm not sure like what date it was in the video, but maybe I already felt guilty about talking to Nikki at work.
Yeah.
Maybe that was going through my head.
Is that the potential timing? Does that make sense? Okay.
I don't remember the video, what day the video was, but I knew like I kind of met Nikki around like June 1st. I knew like she told me like afterwards.
When you say met her, you mean like went on a date with her?
No, I never went on a date with her until she was in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Just like flirting stuff.
Yeah, I mean there was natural flirting back and forth, and I was just like I knew that like with that video timing, I probably just looked like I was like felt guilty for even talking to my girl at work.
Well, you probably did, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys fight before, you and Shanann? I know you talked about like not really raising your voice and stuff. Was there? Because I want to say, didn't a neighbor talk about them fighting and stuff?
Yeah, but that was embellished and exaggerated, and he retracted that.
Oh, he ended up doing
yeah,
that?
he retracted that, so.
Did you guys ever fight? Did you ever
No, I mean,
have? Was there any domestic violence in your house? Like,
No, like never.
this is strange to us to
Even
have.
from her to you, I mean,
Yeah.
she gets mad when she's pregnant and grabs a knife or
No, like I mean,
scratches you or smacks you around or nothing.
No, she'd never like nothing.
Okay.
That's what makes all this even more hard to understand from my standpoint, and from yours too.
Yeah.
Did she ever belittle you at all? Did you ever feel that way, maybe?
Was that?
Did she ever make you feel like she belittled you, or you felt belittled by her?
I mean, there's always points like in a marriage where like the dominant person like takes control of
Sure.
everything, but like I was my whole life I just kind of went with the flow. Like I never I never like put myself in the center of attention. I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be in the back row.
Mhm.
So I mean, if she did belittle me, I couldn't pick at that point or time.
So you never really felt that way about it?
No, I mean, I always knew I was like, the introvert, and she was she took control of most situations. Like people came over, like I knew what my role was.
Yeah.
Like I watch videos of like cooking, or she'd make like power balls or or like protein balls or whatever.
Yeah.
You just don't seem like you want to be in those videos.
No.
Like I feel like you were being forced to be in those videos. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it seemed like to me.
I hated being in videos. I mean, I did it for her because
Right.
it was for her business and
Sure.
stuff. But like it was, I hated just being out
Yeah.
for everybody to see. That's why like the whole like the gender reveal thing. I was just like, I didn't want it to be like some live Facebook video. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
But like I never wanted to be out there.
Yeah.
I know I'm like.
Well, even when she was, because we talk about this a lot, Tammy and I and Dave, even when it was, I think it was Florida on some Lavelle or Thrive thing, and she's like, here we are, and it's all expenses paid, and
I was like,
I remember looking at you and thinking, like, he is not into this video right now.
No, you don't look into any of the videos, I'll be honest with you.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Yeah,
I get it.
I mean, I remember you talking about, like, she would even post stuff for you. Like,
Oh, yeah.
because you're technically a salesman, too, of
Yeah, I was-
Lavelle, of
yeah,
Thrive.
'cause, like she put me underneath her, and that like anything, like any of my friends or stuff, like anything I do would help her.
Right.
So it was just, I would send her pictures. Like I should take a picture with your patch. I'm like, okay, send it to her, and then she'd make a post about it. And she was like, oh, you need to take more control over like your business and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know what to talk about.
Right.
Like if I wanted to talk to somebody at the mall or the pool or somebody about this, I just stumble all over my words and just like they'd be like, okay, bye. But
Yeah.
I'm not the salesman. She could sell everything you're wearing back to you,
Right.
and you wouldn't even know it. Like, wait, I just paid
Right.
for this shirt. I paid $20 for it. But yeah, those videos were not me. I did it just to support her. Like she would always say, "Oh."
Could you tell her no? Could you say, I don't want to be in that video? Or was that an option?
Probably not an option. I mean, it's like, she would have been like, oh, why, this is to, help our family. This is for, to help this and that, so I couldn't have told her no. I mean, it would have made her mad. I would have been like, no. I wouldn't want to start that just because it's for the business, it's for the family, I was just going to try to help out wherever I can.
Right.
Did that actually make money?
Mm-hmm.
So not only just more sales, but it actually put money in your guys' pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she made probably in that last year, probably as much as I did.
On commissions, basically? I mean, I know that's a simplified version of it, but...
Yep. I mean, it's they don't take taxes out on it, so.
Right.
So that was like the good thing, and they paid for your car.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did they give you her an allowance or something to buy a car?
yeah, if
Or lease it?
if you're a certain level, like a 12K or above, they give you a car allowance once a month. I'm not sure how they made money. The owners doing that, but they did.
Yeah.
Unless there's just like an insane markup on the product, which I probably guess there is.
Probably is, yeah.
I'm not sure how much it costs for them to make it.
Yeah.
Did you feel like a different person wearing those patches?
Especially like the Duo, the Burn. Like the Apple Watches. Like if you look on it, like when it tells you you're exercising, it says I was exercising like all day because my heart rate was like up
Oh.
just from those patches.
Was it full of caffeine or what?
They just have something. They had something in them. I mean, the black label ones, the longer black ones, those had caffeine in them, but it never had that effect. I mean, the Duo Burn ones, the ones that are more of like the fat loss type, it felt like I was working out all day, even though I wasn't.
Oh, were you tired?
I mean, I know at some points, even Nikki said that, like, I'd fall asleep on the couch, on her couch, while I was talking to her, and then, like, pick back up like I never knew I fell asleep.
Mm.
which I don't know if it was like an insomnia thing or what, but like I wasn't sleeping much.
You had a lot going on then.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was the only patches I really felt like a real big difference on, just because it felt like I was working out all day.
Mm-hmm. You don't feel like they changed your personality or anything like that, though, or do you?
I don't really know. I know I just felt different on those than any other patch. It was, I feel like I could just go longer and longer each day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure like if that was probably a bad thing, because I don't think I was probably sleeping more than 3 hours a night.
So would you stay when Shanann was gone, would you stay with Nikki and then go home for like to get ready for work?
Yeah, I just wake up at like 4:30 and go home and get ready for work and leave. And I just work out when I got back home.
Mm-hmm.
What were the conversations with Nikki as far as at some point you guys were talking about her helping you find an apartment? So what did you guys talk about as far as your future together?
That didn't really happen until like I got back from the beach. So I told her like I lied to her like, hey, like I had talked to Shanann about getting a separation.
And that talk hadn't happened yet.
No, I mean it kind of like she knew something was going on.
Yeah.
She knew we weren't sleeping in the same room, and then she she even mentioned the fact like, hey, Colorado's 50-50 state or something like that. Which, okay, I guess you looked it up. But that actual talk hadn't like actually happened. I was just like, I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah. And so in conversations with Nikki, and I get it. I mean, you're telling her like the progress toward the divorce is a little bit more than it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then so what were you guys planning?
So it was more of like she was going to help me find an apartment that was affordable. That's kind of just around like Brighton or maybe just close to work, like for Lupton or something around there. That's kind of like where my area was.
Mm-hmm.
Did you talk about moving in with her?
She didn't want that.
She didn't want that? Would you have done that if she would have been cool with that?
I'd been a little too soon, I would have thought. It was just, we'd only been really seeing each other like almost like a month or just talking about 2 months. That would have been really. She called her house like her apartment like her. I don't know, like her, kind of like a shield or kind of like her. She had another word for it, but.
Like her safe place?
Yeah, like a safe place or something like that. And she didn't like, people like to invade it, but that's why she always let me come over, because she said she felt like it was fine, like her dog liked me and everything. Like she would say, hey, you just should belong here type thing. I'm like, oh, okay.
So you and Shanann, did you talk about selling the house? At what point did you? There was some discussion there with Ann Meadows.
She had sent an email to Ann about like how we would go about like selling the house.
Yeah.
And I think Ann told her about Ann was always about getting pre-approved. Just like like if you're going to sell your house, get pre-approved for like another house, so it's like much faster.
Yeah, so you can just quickly transition from one to the other. Okay. When did that happen? Remember?
I think it was either right before we left. No, that had to have been like first week of August, somewhere around there. I think she may have contacted her.
Okay. So the plan was maybe to buy a house. I think you told me in Brighton, you think about buying a house in Brighton.
Yeah, just like
Yeah,
she liked that Adams 12 school system or something.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think that's what Brighton is. Adams.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about when you called the school that day, on Monday?
I was freaking out. I didn't know, like I was thinking in my head, like what I just did, what I just done, and I didn't know, like it was stupid to do anything. Just, to call the school, to call Ann, to call anybody. They were right to be, suspicious about anything. Because I knew I probably sounded eccentric on the phone and out of sorts, and just I don't even know what they were thinking. They heard me.
I think they thought it was weird, but I don't know how you would not sound weird, you know, like you said. So
Are you 100% sure the girls were still around and alive when you drove out? Okay. So that's completely accurate. There's nothing else about that.
They got in the truck.
Okay.
where did the blanket go?
It's probably in the trash can or something, I think.
In the
I didn't-
trash?
It wasn't like, it was still in my truck.
Okay. We thought we saw some GPS where you had stopped by near a construction
Okay.
roll-off dumpster. Is that true, or?
I think that's like, I dumped my clothes in there.
So was that what been on the way back to the house?
In my neighborhood.
Yeah. When Officer Kunab was there? Okay. Was it one of those red construction dumpsters?
More than likely.
Okay.
Did you pack new clothes? How did that work?
I already have some in there, because like, in case we have like a spill or something.
Oh.
If you ever get crude oil on you, you don't. Yeah, I have like 2 pairs of boots, all kinds of different stuff in there, just because like just one time I had to clean up a spill and I had defrost on, and I had like a headache for like 2 weeks because like the crude oil that comes, it's bad. So I always have something in there.
So where did you keep them after you took them off? Like, did you just change out there into your new other clothes?
So like I dumped my clothes in that dumpster.
But that wasn't that on the way back? When you were coming? Like, you had already worked the whole day,
Yeah.
right?
I worked like till like 11 or so.
11.
Yeah. So that was back when Nicole Atkinson.
Yeah, when she was
Yeah, when she
at
called.
my house, hit the doorbell is when I knew someone was at the house.
Right.
Did you think right then, like, oh fuck, like here we go? Or what were you thinking then?
I didn't even know why she was there. I was like, I didn't know, like, maybe she had an appointment or something with Shanann. I didn't know.
What did you think, like, that day, like, what you were gonna say? Like, what was your plan? Were you just gonna go home and be like, report to the police that your family's gone, or?
I had no idea what was going to happen. Like, after everything, I mean, I don't even know how I was even acting even normal to people that I was around. Because when, like, Troy and Cody and Chad and Melissa and all them, like, you know, when they showed up on the site, I don't even know how I was even being somewhat even coherent what I was saying, but apparently they understood me. So I didn't know what was going to happen. Like I said, this wasn't like something like some Criminal Minds type.
Like, well thought out
Yeah,
thing?
it wasn't nothing like that.
It's minute by minute at that point.
Yeah, I had no idea what was going to happen.
So once the girls were gone, was it also just a minute by minute thing as far as the oil tanks?
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I mean, just thinking about an oil tank just makes me want to fill up.
And was that just because it was in front of you and there it was and it just presented itself? It wasn't a plan beforehand? Okay. Was there any reason why the separate ones?
No, it's like you said, it was like going up the stairs, and it didn't. No, like what Frank said, it's like I was trying to separate everybody. That's not.
No.
No, I didn't want to separate anybody.
What was the reason?
I can't even tell you. It's like I said, like something else was in control of what I was doing, and it was like I was doing something I never thought I would ever do in my life.
Did you think there would be less chance of someone finding them if they were in separate tanks, or?
I don't.
Sounds like you were.
Oh, I don't.
Whatever my reasoning was in my head that day, it wasn't sound. Nothing was right.
And you don't even remember thinking about it?
No, it was just like like a reaction of something that I wasn't even thinking about.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the trash bags? Do you remember that?
Oh,
There were 2.
okay. Yeah, I was trying to, because like she kept, I didn't want to, like when I was putting, there's one coherent, I guess, thing I had, like I didn't want the girls looking at Shanann. while they were in the back seat.
So what'd you do?
I put a trash bag on one end and on her feet and on her head, so they didn't have to see.
And they were just too little to kind of figure out, right?
Yeah, they didn't know.
Okay. That's good.
I just know, like, when I was driving up there, I mean, you know, they were just, you know, sitting there just, you know, kind of asleep or kind of just like, you know, holding on to each other, laying in each other's laps. You know, I didn't, you know,
Do you remember having any thoughts or thinking about why not just putting them all together with Shanann?
honestly, it was just happening so fast. I had no time to really have a thought that was my own.
Okay.
But I wasn't like dutifully trying to separate anybody passing away, trying to keep anybody separate. And everything, you know, Frank, Sandy, and Frankie said, you know, like I don't hold it against them. I mean, they can hate me for. They have a right to hate me for the rest of their lives.
They don't hate you.
In fact, while we're on the subject, I speak with them weekly, and I told them that we were going to come here and then hopefully would speak with us. And they told me to tell you, understandably, they're devastated. But they actually said that they love you. They still love you. And Sandy explained it. You know, he's our son-in-law for 8 years. I can't just turn that off. So they don't hate you. They don't.
That's amazing to hear that.
Yeah. Well, and I can tell you, Sandy was the one that was most resistant to penalties in this case. And she said that. She told me that from the very beginning. But she didn't want that. It's God's decision. It's not her decision. And then she told me that even then. So it's not just a one-time thing that she has said it to me. It's been over the whole course of the event. So that's probably one of the most honest things someone's ever told me. You know? So it's pretty amazing. Faith is. She's obviously a believer. So am I. I get it. So I understand it.
That's amazing to even hear that.
Yeah. Good people.
I would have figured they would have hated me for.
They don't. I mean, yeah, anybody would think that. I certainly would have, but I have to admit I was surprised, really taken aback by that. But they certainly don't.
What did they say when they knew you were coming out here?
They said they want to know, details because they need closure, and that's really all they want, and they want to keep it private. And I said, well, absolutely. We'll talk to them about what you told us, and just so they can put it past them, because they're having a hard time dealing with it and trying to get past it all. And I think that may help, just to,
Like
just to know.
Closures, you know. I mean, my parents still think, you know, like I've told them I pled guilty for a reason,
Right.
Right.
and like I told it to them when they had that video phone thing in Colorado the day before, like I pled guilty, like I plead guilty for a reason. Like I didn't just, you know, I knew other people were watching, so I didn't just go in and like just say anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they seemed to take it, like okay.
What
And
made you do that, Chris? What made you plead guilty?
I didn't want anybody else to. I didn't want them to go through this for 2 or 4 years. I didn't want my attorneys to lie for me for 2 to 4 years. Like they would have done anything I told them to do.
Sure.
That's what they're. I don't see how they can do that. And like, you know, that's what attorneys do. You know, like they take their defendant and they say, like, what happened? Okay, we'll go with that story. Like I told them everything I just told you guys, and it's just like. They got together like, well, if you know, if they ever offered a plea deal, would you ever want to like just plead guilty to? I'm like, yeah, I mean, if we can end this, let's end it. Like I was like in September, I told them that.
Really?
Yeah, they like, but you know, it was way too early, and the prosecution was still doing their
Yeah.
investigators still grabbing evidence and all kinds of stuff, and that wasn't even really on the table. So I think it was like around Halloween. I think that's when the prosecution went to Frank and Sandy and Frankie's house